Alright, my name is James Pringle, and welcome to my experience with Gauntlet. I'm doing this for the Evolution of Video Games course, the Arcade Game Emulator assignment, where we are supposed to pick and play one of these classic arcade games off of one of these websites. I chose Gauntlet because I knew Gauntlet as sort of a spiritual successor for a large number of dungeon crawler adventures, and it fits kind of the vein of some of the Dungeons and Dragons-esque things I'm into. Reminded me a little bit of Zork, though this is kind of a bit more pulpy fiction, action, hack and slash than the more, I guess, interactive fiction, intellectual thing that Zork has going on. So what initially kind of grabbed me about this was that the graphics were a lot better than I was expecting for one of these arcade games in the early 80s. You see and hear about games like Pong and Guardians of Space Invaders, and you think these very simple kinds of games that just don't have much going on to them. Whereas this shows that even very early on, I think this was released, what, 1985? Either that or earlier, I know it's probably the latest it gets, that they have a lot of color and have a lot of character. Everything from my sweaty, bare-chested barbarian man to these spooky ghosts and the other four characters that are involved. The color and the art direction are both fairly well composed for a game this early on. So both the graphics and the characters themselves are fairly, I would say, are fairly well expressed. It's a pretty unforgiving game, I've been coming to figure out, in terms of just dealing with all this mess. The fact that your health happens to be both a timer and more or less operated by the coins that you give the game. And there are several cases where I've just run into circumstances where, you know, I've been put in a position where it's either impossible to get out, or it's difficult to work through, or... Well, that was interesting. I've never seen that before. Pretty much certain death. Like most of these holes, it's actually a part I haven't gotten past yet. I didn't know you could go around the edge of the screen. I'm not doing very well here, but I'm not expected to. But scoring seems to be based both on the movement and fighting like all these monsters in terms of getting it, and obviously treasure being another avenue to get the score. Altogether, you can see how a lot of people would suck a lot of coins into this, particularly if you didn't know what you were doing, like in my case here. The idea that you would have these kids come in here and play these arcade games, and they would immediately die, or get trapped, or get caught in a trap, and just pumping in coin after coin after coin after coin. There are a lot of outdated ideas, and I think the dungeon crawling as sort of a narrative thing has gone a lot further than this game has it. But on the whole, I was fairly impressed. I haven't gotten particularly far with it. I haven't done particularly much with it. But from, like I said, the very colorful, very cartoony atmosphere, to the traps, to the relatively simple but satisfying controls. I mean, it's never going to be not satisfying to throw an axe at a ghost. Like, the sound design is relatively simple, but, I mean, it serves a function. And is this going to put me back where it did? Yeah, this death trap that I can't get out of? Alas. I suppose it's the end of my adventure. But that's... Oh, wow. Look at how much health I'm losing. That's wild. I guess it's like a mini-boss or something. But yeah, so you build your score up. And one unique thing about Gauntlet that I learned when I was doing a bit of research for it was the fact that it had 4-player co-op, which, you know, you have arcade games today that definitely have more than 2 characters. But for back in the day, it was probably quite an experience. You'd walk in with a group of your friends and you play these varied characters with a bunch of, you know, colorful sprites running around, dying frequently, pumping more coins in. It's going to come a long way today. I know a remake of Gauntlet came out, what was it, 2014, and it's the whole shebang, the whole graphical improvements and all the rest. But going back to the roots, you see how it captures on a lot of the hype that there was for Dungeons & Dragons and other dungeon crawling games at the time. I'm glad I got the opportunity to play it, and I hope something of all this has been informative. Thank you.